Chapter 14. Mom's watching for me when I get home. I knew she would be. She has sun chips and cheese waiting for me in the kitchen, my favorite after school snack. We sit and talk, and it makes me feel good that she's so interested in knowing all about my day. But honestly, how can I explain it? I tell her the basics, that my homework load is greatly reduced, for Fiona was amazing, that there was a big party for me in Kiro's room, and that people were nice to me, but I don't mention the stares or averted eyes. I don't tell her about Gavin or Meryl or Mr. Vedder's question or Miss Rucker's cool demeanor or sitting with Rosa. I'm too tired to revisit any of the tongue tough stuff. But tired or not, there is one thing I have to know about. Mom, I ask as she's refilling my juice glass. Yes, sweetheart. Kiro mentioned there's a problem with insurance. What's going on? And why does Dad think it's Kiro's fault? The juice slows to a dribble as she looks directly at me. It runs down the pitcher, then drips onto the table. He said that? Yes. The pitcher wobbles a bit as she puts it down. He shouldn't have mentioned a thing. She shakes her head a little. Your father will be furious. Why? I don't get that. I don't get it at all. Because you, of all people, shouldn't be worried or even thinking about insurance. He had no business telling you that there's a problem. He only told me because I asked. About insurance? No, about why Dad's mad at him. Your father's not mad at him, really. He's mad at the situation, and I think that in the beginning, Kiro got the brunt of that. Well, that made me think he was mad at Kiro, so I asked, okay? Mom sighs. Well, now he will be. He will be mad at Kiro. Look, none of this, none of it is his fault. He's aged 10 years since the wreck. He wears Lucy bracelet, okay? Mom heaves another sigh. So tell me what's going on with insurance. I don't understand what the big problem is. I stare at her as she considers this for what seems like an eternity. Finally, she takes a deep breath and says, it's nothing that time won't take care of. Everything will be okay. It's just that payment is crowed because of different insurance companies are dragging their feet, each pointing the finger at the other. I frown at her. What does that mean? She closes her eyes, takes another deep breath, holds it for another eternity, and finally says, Jack Rowe didn't have insurance. The guy in the truck that hit us? Right. See, normally, since the accident was his fault, his insurance company would pay your medical bills. But he didn't have insurance. His truck wasn't even legally registered. He had current tax, but the police think he peeled them off another vehicle to avoid getting stopped. I let this sink in. But who does he work for? Don't they have insurance? She sighs. He worked for himself. He was a freelance junk hauler and got paid by the job. So that's it? There's no insurance, no money? Well, he's still liable, or his estate is now, and he didn't own property, a sizable chunk of it up near Penn Lake, where his widow lives. So what then? We should have to sell it to pay for the hospital bills? My mother nods. Yes, but of course she doesn't want to, so she's hired a lawyer to fight it. Meanwhile, the school district and the bus company are both claiming no fault and so far haven't picked up any of the expenses. Wait, the buses aren't owned by the school? That's right. Apparently, they are owned by a subcontractor with separate insurance. It's all very complicated, with lots of people in lots of offices claiming it's not their liability. A question hovers in my mind, but don't you have insurance? My voice is small because I'm pretty sure I already know the answer. We do on your dad, health, life, disability. We've got to work on him. She shakes her head and wipes the juice up with a napkin. We used to have it for the rest of us, but the cost was so high that we let it go and we never imagined this. I let this all sink in, then ask, so who's been paying the bills? Her lips pinch together as she breathes in through her nose. As I said, it's going to take some time to sort this out. But meanwhile, and how much money are we talking about? Meanwhile, it is not your job to worry about this. It will all work itself out, okay? Your sole focus should be getting back into life. She smiles at me, which it sounds like you did a great job of today. I'm quiet, thinking. She gets that way too. Then she stands and clears our paper plate. If you don't mind, she says softly, let's keep this conversation between the two of us. I don't know who your dad would be madder at, your coach or me. Keeping it between us is not hard to do. Dad works late and then is gone out early. He hasn't been around much since I came home from the hospital, and now I understand why. I still have to see doctors. I still need to get a leg. Someone has to pay the bills. Chapter 15. Saturday, I submerge myself in homework. I actually like it, which feels odd. Homework has always been something to dread. Now it's something I can do. I try hard not to think about the team running at the Greenwood relays. I try to block out memories of the fun we had there last year. I try to block out how the last invitational ended. Dad and Mom and Kaylee moved me back into my bedroom on Sunday because I insist on it. I'm good at scooting up the stairs now. I hop around everywhere or use the crutches. I can actually pinch a crutch with my armpit and carry something while I move, and I discover crawling. Rediscover, I suppose. I don't know what took me so long to try it. It's quicker than hopping, but I only do it on rugs or carpets, and only when I'm alone, because seeing me crawl really bothers my mom. Sunday night, I take a shower. It's gotten easier, especially now that Dad's bought a real shower seat and installed a step on either side of the tub cup so I don't have to land on the door guide. I do my usual routine, then shut off the water and treat my stump the way I'm supposed to. I massage it, rough it up with a hand towel, beat it with a towel folded. It can take a lot more pressure than it used to, and I push the towel therapy until I can really feel it. Even with the rough treatment, there is no shooting pain, and the scar's red, but it's no longer tender or swollen. I still get phantom pains, but not as often, and they are not as severe. It's like my stump is giving up being angry, giving up fighting back, like it's ready for a truce. I maneuver out of the shower, and as I'm dressing, I think about my leg. Not the one I've lost, the one Dale built me. How does that work? What will it be like? Hank tried to explain it when I was in the hospital, but I couldn't bear to listen. He had a brochure with pictures of a leg. They had a plastic feet, a pipe for a kelp. They were Frankenstein's. In my mind, he became Frankenstein, somebody I didn't want to see. But now the idea of a leg, any leg, seems better than crouching, or wheeling, or hopping, or scooting, or crawling. What a liberating luxury walking would be. It's the first time I've thought about this without someone else bringing it up. It's the first time I haven't thought that the only leg I want is the one I can't have. It's the first time I've felt ready, and suddenly I want it now.